AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul is not here today. Cassie Spazzali is here today.
Walking here.
She's right there. So is Murray,
Murray, present.
a.k.a. the son of Marilyn Monroe Musso. Hit your drop.
Normally
And Mr. Toby Tom play. Musa. Right there. Murray, we got to make Murray stick until we get a Murray. I don't have another Murray. I don't have a Murray.
I think we can find another Murray.
Will you just find me a Murray?
Okay.
Yeah, just find me a Murray. Would love it if there was a Murray on one of the LSU teams, on the Saints. There's no Murray. And DeJounte Murray's out for the year.
Yeah.
So I ain't got a Murray.
We'll get a weekly football segment with Aaron Murray. He'll be our new Murray.
Well, that's fine. But that's a once-a-week thing. And I don't know that we're going to, even if that's
better than none.
That's if he agreed to do it.
Yeah, it's true.
He did come out hot yesterday, blazing about T-Bob.
Yeah, man. He did.
He was making sort of not so veiled references about whiskey and wine.
I think he misses T-Bob.
Yeah.
I just think he does.
Yeah.
They fit together really well. Snaps was great.
T-Bob, everyone misses T-Bob.
It's true. I miss T-Bob.
There's nobody. Everybody likes T-Bob.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are, what you do. It doesn't matter if you liked him on air. He doesn't have to be your style of air. That's fine. I mean, that's just a different strokes type thing. There are people who hate the Beatles, who are the most accomplished band ever, right? That's fine. It's just, but personally, everybody likes T-Bob because he likes everybody. He's very gregarious, very easy to get. Cassie, did you like T-Bob?
Yep.
See, you know anybody that doesn't like T-Bob?
I don't. No, I don't.
That's why. Yeah, so I think so. I hated him.
Yeah, there.
I was the one.
You were the only one.
Yeah, that's fine. That bum, chump, know nothing.
You don't miss him at all. You couldn't wait for him to get out the door.
Glad he's gone.
Yeah.
Nothing but a headache. Good riddance. Good riddance. Yeah, but I think Aaron Murray was sad. Aaron's going to miss seeing me and T-Bob on Whiskey and Wine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people going to miss seeing me and T-Bob on Whiskey and Wine. Whiskey and Wine. I think I said Misky and Wine.
Misky.
Oh, there's no Misky. So Whiskey and Wine is the show. A lot of people going to miss me and T-Bob on that show. I get asked about it all the time. Who's going to replace T-Bob on Whiskey and Wine? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
You can't replace T-Bob.
Yeah, well, someone's got to sit in the chair, though.
Yeah.
Who's going to sit in that chair? I don't know. No idea. It's after further review. Glad you're hanging. Give me a suggestion. What do you think? Who do you think should replace T-Bob on Whiskey and Wine? Email me, tweet me, text me, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. I'll talk to Bill Bender here in 10 minutes of the sporting news. It was interesting. Cody Benjamin over at CBS listed 8 teams that need the preseason the most. I know there's always a lot of angst about the preseason, like how valuable is it? I think ultimately we're heading to a world where we don't have a preseason. of course, the NFL is going to play 20. They've gone from a 14 game schedule to a 16, now a 17 game schedule. And it wasn't 17 still with 4 preseason games. They took away a preseason game. And they're going to go to 18 regular season and 2 preseason. And then they're just going to keep graduating that way because it's all about money. No matter what anybody says about health or what, it's all about money. And if you keep giving the networks or you give the NFL more regular season inventory to sell to the networks, those television deals continue to balloon. And if revenues increase, then salaries increase. It's that simple. So you ask the players, are you willing to go from 16 to 17 to 18 to 20? If that means your salaries continuing to escalate on multiples, well, the answer is going to be yes, over and over and over again, because everybody wants to make more money. But I love the preseason because I'll be watching Sunday night, every play, Saints-Chargers. Be a great opportunity to look at these guys in game situations, see who are the guys who are going to have an opportunity to make this team. But Cody Benjamin looked at 8 teams that really need the preseason. He mentions the Falcons. A lot of this makes sense because a lot of them are young quarterbacks, right? Like the Falcons with Michael Penix, the Bears with Caleb Williams. He mentions the Colts. They've got Anthony Richardson. The Browns as they try to figure out what to do. Shedeur, Dylan Gabriel, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, which way they'll go. He mentions Jacksonville, which is interesting, and they've got an established quarterback there in Trevor Lawrence, but obviously they're trying to rebound under a new coach there in Liam Cohen. Minnesota, they mentioned, with J.J. McCarthy now taking over for Sam Darnold, who was so good a year ago in Minnesota, got him into the playoffs. And then Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. But they also list the Saints on this, here on this list of the teams that need the preseason the most. And a couple of the bullet points there with respect to the Saints. Which young quarterback will Kellen Moore gravitate toward? They mentioned Chuck Rattler-Hayner. How will Kelvin Banks hold up in areas of protection? And then can Brandon Staley's defense settle at the back end with new safeties and Justin Reed and Julian Blackmon? So those are the 3 bullet points, but there are endless bullet points that you could throw out there. And I do fully agree that the Saints desperately need preseason. I think they need everything from going back to OTAs and minicamp and rookie minicamp. It's, you know why when they took the day off to go play paintball or go to the water park, whatever it was, I wasn't down with that at all. Like, I understand in some respect you want to build culture, but this New Orleans Saints team, it's less about building that friendly culture internally and more about finding out if you have players that can actually play football. If you want to get back to being a contender, which they're nowhere near that right now, you know, one of the things they mentioned there was the safeties in Justin Reed and Julian Blackmon. And, like, I really don't like those signings. And, like, let me be very clear. On a personal level, I love the Justin Reed signing. He's a kid from Dutchtown, Louisiana kid, coming home, playing for the hometown team, and he's been a very productive professional safety from his time with the Texans and with the Chiefs, and now in New Orleans. There's a lot to like about Justin Reed. He is an upgrade at safety over what you had, undeniably. But you're not going to win anything this year. So investing the money into Justin Reed or Julian Blackmon, take both of them, feels like, I'll give you an analogy that's not football related. It feels like it's like 2016 Mike Trout, who won the MVP on the Angels on a team that was 14 games below 500. Like, okay, he won the MVP and he was individually really good, but what did you accomplish? And you could look at the Angels organization and go, yeah, they stink. And what if they had taken prime Mike Trout and said, you know what, we have this amazing asset, we're not going anywhere with him. Like, what if we traded this asset for a whole bunch of assets that can make us better? I could say the same thing about the Pirates and Paul Skeens right now. They're going to have a guy that probably wins the Cy Young. They have a guy that's probably going to win the Cy Young this year on a team that's going to finish below 500. They stink. So if you're the Pirates, do you hang on to this guy that's going to pitch once every 5th day, isn't actually going to affect every day you play, or do you take this incredible asset that you have that has appreciated from the day you drafted him because he very quickly got to the show and has been incredible here in 2 seasons? Do you trade him for a contender's entire farm system? I mean, go to the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Cubs. Go to one of these teams with a ton of money that wants to contend all the time and just hold them hostage. Offer Paul Skeens and hold them hostage for their entire farm system. And I kind of look at the Saints the same way. I go, okay, I mean, are Julian Blackmon and Justin Reed better safeties than what you had a year ago? Yes, undeniably. And I love Tyrann Mathieu, but Tyrann is near the end of his career, clearly, as he's now retired. You got younger and more talented. Okay. But that's not going to help you win any games. I'd rather find out if Jordan Howden can be a starting safety. I'd rather find out, is Alontae Taylor a better safety than a nickel? I'd rather find out, you drafted Jonas Sanker out of Virginia. Can he be a starting safety in the NFL, or is he just a rotational player at best? And you're only going to find that out when you play him in regular season NFL games. So preseason is certainly a part of that, stair-stepping toward it, but we all know the intensity level increases in the NFL from camp to preseason to regular season to postseason. It's just these gradual increases in intensity, and I think the Saints desperately need all of these reps to find out who they feel like they can count on and who will be actual real NFL players. Hopefully we find out in time. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. That's the website, OLOLRMC.com/LSU. That's where you can learn more about the championship health partnership, the many different ways that Our Lady of the Lake is not only influencing healthcare among the LSU student athletes, but taking over the LSU Student Health Center for the actual students on campus, and under the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady umbrella, through their hospitals and clinics, championship-level health care for you and me every day across Louisiana and Mississippi. It's whether it's St. Elizabeth, whether it's Lourdes, whether it's Our Lady of the Lake, the Regional Medical Center campus right there on Essen Lane in Baton Rouge. It's Our Lady of the Lake. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. All right, well, I got a quick break. Bill Bender will be here when we come back. Bill Bender of the Sporting News. I want to get Bill's take on LSU. But Bill, who is based out of Columbus, Ohio, covers a lot of Big Ten. So I do want Bill's take on LSU, the SEC, but certainly want to work in some of these Big Ten conversations as well with Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, teams that fancy themselves as contenders. How much of that should we be buying at this point? We'll talk about it with Bill Bender as we continue. We're glad you're here with us on a Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Stick around.
AFR.
91 degrees in Baton Rouge. You get home today and your AC isn't keeping up. Maybe your AC's gone out. I don't wish that on anybody, but that is a reality of life for all of us at some point. I've told you the story several years back. On Easter Sunday, Erica and I and Drew, we went to my cousin's house for big crawfish boil. We got home about 5:30 on Easter Sunday. House was hot. AC was out. Called River City's 1 Hour Air thinking I'm going to get front of the line service for Monday. Technician was at our house on Easter Sunday night. Remember, I always encourage you to join their maintenance program. When you call or they ask you about it, strongly consider it, okay? Discuss it, but what I'll tell you is it pays for your seasonal maintenance, which is complimentary when you're part of the maintenance club. You get front-of-the-line service, and you get membership club pricing on any repairs that you may need. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Bill Bender of the Sporting News, good enough to join us. Bill, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
It's always our pleasure. I know you're sort of rooted there in Big Ten country. I do have some Big Ten stuff I want to ask, but I'd love to get your perspective just from an outsider 10,000-foot view on LSU and heading into year 4 under Brian Kelly. What do you think about this Tigers team?
Well, there's a lot of talent, right, through the portal, and Garrett Nussmeier's there. I think there's so much from a national perspective on this opener and the idea that they're playing Clemson and, you know, the fight for Death Valley and two teams that really need this opener. LSU, I mean, I don't have to tell you about the the last couple openers, and then Clemson losing 3 games to SEC schools last year. I think it amps up I would make this argument. I'm in Columbus, right?
Right.
Ohio State, Texas is the glamour game. LSU, Clemson has more playoff implications down the road in that game. That's what I think.
Okay. Let me follow up then on Clemson, Bill, because I have this weird, and I haven't figured out which way I feel about him, Bill. I look at him, I go, 5th-year senior quarterback, coach just won 2 national titles, 16 returning starters, playoff team a year ago. Like all that, check, really good. The other hand, I'm like, they lost at home to Louisville. They lost at home to South Carolina. They backdoored their way into the AC championship game where they got to play SMU, and then they lost in the playoff to Texas. I'm going, were they really that good? So I find myself waffling. Where do you fall on Clemson?
They have talent up front with Woods and Parker. I mean, those 2 really good defensive linemen. Klubnik's played a lot of football. The Louisville game was a head-scratcher last year because they were rolling at that point, and it sneaks up on you that Klubnik had 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. But all over them in Clemson. So I think that's what makes it interesting on their end is there is some pressure knowing that they lost to Texas, that they lost to Georgia, that they lost to South Carolina, and Klubnik's numbers in those games much different than when he played in the ACC, and now you're playing LSU with the talent they have. Like I said, it amps up everything.
Bill Bender's with us. We mentioned Bill is rooted there in Columbus. So, Bill, I look at the Buckeyes. Since you mentioned the opener with Texas, and I go, okay, they won the national championship, and they had 14 players drafted, 1 shy of the record Georgia set a few years back with 15. I look and I go, how in the world can you lose 14 players to the draft and not be affected, not take a step back? Where do you fall on that, Bill?
Well, 2 places, right? I think quarterback. Who's going to start? Is it going to be Julian Say? And I've made the argument earlier this week that of the voids at quarterback, Ohio State probably less of concern because you're throwing to Jeremiah Smith, Cornell Tate, and Brandon Ennis. Mm-hmm. The defense with Matt Patricia is going to be really interesting. You can build around Caleb Down, but that's where they lost all those guys. Jack Sawyer, JTT, Cody Simon, so many others. So they've got to rebuild that side of the ball. And here you come in with Texas, not just Arch Manning, the playmakers around Arch Manning. I guess the big question for Texas is how do you replace 4 offensive line starters? So both teams sent, I think, 25 guys to the NFL draft, and they're still super talented. And that's what's going to make it so interesting in Columbus on August 30th.
Do you have a feeling about Texas with Arch Manning taking the reins?
Well, I mean, how do we I don't even know what the word is. How do we suppress the hype?
Right.
All right? Like, it's off the charts. I don't think he can exceed the hype because it's so high. And we haven't had a Manning in college football, and I'm trying to think when Eli's last year was. It's been so long.
03. No, 03. Yeah, 03 was his last season.
I almost won a bar bet a couple weeks ago because I remembered a bowl game with West Virginia and the way Eli played in that game. But I think that fascination is high. In Texas, there is some pressure on Sark because if we looked at college football playoff semifinals like we do Final Fours in basketball, Texas has been there back-to-back years. But there's that, they haven't won a national championship in 20 years. So there'll be some pressure on them going into that game as well.
He's on Twitter at BillBender92. If you want to give him a follow, at BillBender92. You can read his stuff over at the Sporting News. If we circle back to the Big Ten, Bill, Penn State's another one of those teams that's fascinating. We had Aaron Murray with us yesterday, and he said he thought Drew Aller is actually the best pro prospect in college football this year. Aller gets a lot of flack, obviously, for what happened in the college football playoff. Is Penn State with Drew Aller a legitimate national championship caliber team?
I think so, with what they have coming back, the 2 running backs, Zane Durant on defense. Aller, I'm going to have to go listen to what Aaron said, obviously, but the size is there, right? The track record of playing really well over the last 2 years. He's got to play better in those huge games, though. Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan. They don't play Michigan this year. But I've got that Ohio State game circled because, in theory, this is Penn State's turn. Can they beat Ohio State? I don't know how much you guys harp on this down there, but they haven't beat Ohio State since 2016. So, I mean, that's the one that they need. And if they win that, I think it unlocks everything else, and they'll have a good shot at national title. Added element of Jim Knowles being on the sideline as well, the Ohio State defensive coordinator at Penn State. That happens in the SEC all the time. That doesn't happen in the Big Ten that often.
Yeah, poaching assistants like that. Knowles, why did he leave, by the way? Bill, do you know that story?
Well, I mean, what's been reported was there was a contract extension out there. There's rumors of the relationship with Ryan Day after the Oregon loss. But Jim Knowles has his way of doing things on the defensive side of the ball. It's not for everybody, but I think at Penn State it's hard to screw it up because they always have a lot of talent on that side of the ball. They've had Tom Allen do a nice job there. Manny Diaz do a nice job there. That's one thing I forgot to mention about Clemson was I think Tom Allen's going to do a nice job with that defense.
When we talk about the Big Ten, it's interesting, Bill. I've heard so many conversations, and usually it centers around Penn State and Ohio State. Some people throw in Michigan. I go, what about the team that won the league last year? Everyone kind of forgets Oregon's in the Big Ten and won the Big Ten last year. Now, they got to replace Dylan Gabriel. Are the Ducks poised for another run this year?
I was so impressed with how they came in the league unapologetically and won it last year. Because you guys do that down there too, where like when A&M and Missouri came in, you were probably like, oh, you're not ready for the SEC. There was a little bit of that last year with Oregon, and they came in and Dan Lanning won the league, and some of that got unmasked by how the Rose Bowl didn't go their way, but got a lot of talent back with Dante Moore, quarterback, good offensive line, Mateo Wangalele. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Sorry,
Nailed it.
Got it. And they do have a lot of talent. They play Penn State at the end of September, and that's going to be kind of that reminder that, hey, Oregon's still got a stake in this as well.
He is Bill Bender on Twitter, X. Get him at Bill Bender 92. He's over there at the Sporting News. Bill, is there a team that you think, as you maybe look at the landscape of college football as you push off from the dock, that maybe isn't getting as much conversation as you think they should?
Well, I'm heading down to it right now. You know where I'm going? I'm going down to Morgantown, West Virginia.
Okay. Rich Rod, let's go.
I am fascinated, and I want to get this story about how are they going to do in the Big 12 with this return. I think when you and I think about West Virginia, I don't want to speak for you, but I always think of Pat White, Slayton, that pinball offense, and Pat White's an assistant there. So what do they do in year one in the Big 12 where that conference is as wide open as anywhere? Anybody could win it, and I want to get a feel for why Rich Rod came back. I think I know the answer. And can they be a viable team in the Big 12? Because I think they're one of those cool places in college football. If you've ever been there, it's awesome.
Yeah, LSU played there in 2011 and got a win, and burning couches and the mountains aside, man, it's a cool spot. It'd be fascinating to see. It's kind of like a little bit of a throwback, Bill. Steve Schiano or Greg Schiano's up there at Rutgers. You got Rich Rodriguez back at West Virginia. I mean, wasn't that one of the year when they had like 3 Big East teams that got up to number 2 in the country? Bobby Petrino maybe was at Louisville that year as well. Am I remembering that correctly? Like, we basically rewound the clock 20 years with these teams.
Yeah, and South Florida was in that league.
Yes!
Had a nice run at one point.
With
remember?
Jim Leavitt. Yeah.
They were fun games, and they were always Thursday night specials. I do remember that about the Big East. You always had like a either huge ACC or Big East game on, and went back and looked at that West Virginia run over 3 years, and they were winning 11 games. And I think I miss the old Big East. I do think the Big 12 has some interesting stories, and they're one of them. UCF with Scott Frost is another one. Arizona State coming back with Sam Leavitt. I mean, I do think that's a league that will still only get one playoff team, but it'll be fun figuring out who that one team is.
Do you have a pick on who the G5 bid stealer is?
Well, looking at Navy, let's play that out. If Navy does what I think they're going to do in the American Athletic Conference, and what if they need to beat Army after the conference championship and the playoffs still settled? That's going to come to a head at some point because I think Army and Navy are both good in that conference and going to have a stake in that over the next several years. So, they've got a nice quarterback in Blake Horvath, local kid in Columbus, but he can play, and I think Navy's going to be an interesting team. If not them, you can default to like Boise State or and it sneaks up on me. Guess what? Dan Mullen at UNLV is going to be fun.
I just love that our guy threw out Navy. I mean, what a bold proclamation, but not crazy with Horvath. The good news is we're about 3 weeks away from getting to talk about it for real. He's Bill Bender at Bill Bender 92. Read us up over at the Sporting News. We'll look at that feature on Rich Rod there at WVU. Bill, we always appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time.
Hey, anytime. Good to catch up. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy, efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. You can always head right there to the showroom on Airline Highway in Prairieville. If you're going south on Airline, you cross 42, about a quarter mile on the right. You can't miss it. Big, giant Relief Windows showroom. Go talk to one of their associates. One of the really cool things is you don't have to flip through a book with samples. Like, they actually have this 3D program, this 3D imagery where they can make a 3D model of your home with the windows, door, siding, exactly what it will look like. So if you're visual like me, you can see exactly what your home would look like with those newly installed windows, doors, or siding. Of course, they do shutters as well. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, thanks to Bill Bender for joining us there. How about that? I love a bold proclamation. Not that I need a hot take. I just like when someone steps outside of the echo chamber. And he's right. Naturally, when you talk about the G5, and I don't think the G5 deserves a playoff berth, a guaranteed playoff berth. You go undefeated and you play 4 Power 4 schools in the non-conference, beat them all. We can have a conversation. But you look at Navy and their schedule, the only ranked team that they're going to play, most likely, is their game at Notre Dame on November the 8th. VMI, UAB, at Tulsa, Rice Air Force, at Temple, FAU, at North Texas, at Notre Dame, South Florida, at Memphis, then Army. And they get, obviously, the open date before they play Army. So, not a crazy thought there with Navy. I'd kind of like to see it. I mean, Navy get their head kicked in by whoever they played in the playoff, and I'll be sitting here screaming my head off that Navy has no business being in the playoff because I'm a college football elitist.
I was about to say, I'm going to clip you saying I kind of like to see it just for when we come back to this later.
Well, just because someone's got to be in.
Yeah.
Like, from the standpoint, to be clear, I don't want Navy anywhere near the college football. I don't want any G5 anywhere near the college football playoff. Unless and until you play a power schedule, I have no interest in you being anywhere near there. But because the nincompoops who run this thing insist on shoving a middle-class citizen in a high-class world, someone's gonna get that bid. So, yeah, okay, give me Navy. Give me Navy over Smurf turf. And who else is even in that conversation? Memphis, Tulane, who are we talking about? I mean,
Memphis. Yeah. We need to bring back nincompoop. That was strong.
I like
not enough people call each other nincompoops anymore.
Oh, I like nincompoop.
We need to bring that back.
Do it. Nincompoop. I went away from the self-important dorks in a hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas. Yes. Or did I say dorks or losers?
You mix it up. Dorks, dweebs, dopes, losers.
I like dopes a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of them.
I'll work nincompoops in there as well.
So good.
Yeah. The self-important nincompoops debating things like defensive efficiency and game control, huddled around their screens in a hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas with their almighty decision-making determining who has the right to play for a championship. Friggin' losers.
Now it is officially college football season.
How about you give me a 32-team playoff? Seeded 1 to 32 based on power rankings that everybody knows what the criteria is before you go into the season. 1 plays 32, 2 plays 31, and let's have a real damn playoff to determine a champion on the field instead of letting these blowhards, Honey Boo Boo and what's his face out there.
Who's our guy this year?
Who cares? Oh, it's the guy from Brother Martin, isn't it? Or was he last year?
I think he might have been.
From Michigan.
Last year was Ward Manuel from Michigan.
Brother Martin guy.
Yeah.
We're going to fight for our alma mater for Brother Martin. My dad went there. Used to go to the games when I was a kid. Loved the band. Fight song. Until Catholic High started whipping their ass and everything. That's right. Take that, Brother Martin. We'll crush you in everything. All right, it's After Further Review. Let's knock out a quick break and continue.
After Further Review.
GLO, glowresources.com. At Glow Resources, they are complete employer solutions. It's why I always encourage you to go to the website, glowresources.com, to learn more. If you're a business owner, if you're a hiring manager, HR manager, and you are struggling to find the right people, I want you to remember that with Glow Resources, the customer gets a guarantee for 60 days that the employee is the right fit. So they go to work, they find you an employee, you get a guarantee for 60 days that employee is the right fit. And if it doesn't work, they will find you a new employee at no cost, or they'll give you a prorated refund. And people like working with Glow Resources because they're fun. Look at their commercials. Like, they know how to have fun. They take what they do very seriously. They don't take themselves very seriously. They've created a great culture. The hiring market's so bad. Let Glow Resources help. Let them make your business more efficient. It's Glow Resources. GLO. glowresources.com. glowresources.com.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
So I actually was up in Canton over the weekend to support Antonio Gates, former teammate of mine with the San Diego Chargers. Saw a lot of gold jackets walking around, the guys that had been inducted. A lot of guys in our generation, to be quite honest with you, guys that I played with or against through the years. And so, you certainly have such an appreciation for what it means to be a Hall of Famer and the contributions that so many of these guys have made to the game. And even to be considered in that class, this year, as now being eligible, is a great honor.
Last week, we were at Court to Table doing AFR, and it was the Hall of Fame game, and they were getting ready for the Hall of Fame inductions, which, of course, happened this past weekend. And we saw the odds that Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald among the first-year eligible players, overwhelming odds. Brees, 90% probability, according to the odds makers, that he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. It's a shoe-in slam dunk. There's no doubt it will happen for Drew Brees next year at this time. So it'll be interesting. I would presume we'll head up to Canton and do shows in Canton and be there. We've never really had reason to before. The Saints have had Hall of Fame inductees, Willie Rowe, Ricky Jackson, but from a different era, obviously, since we've been on air and covering Brees all those years with the New Orleans Saints, I would presume we'll end up being there for all the festivities next year in Canton, because Brees should be elected, and the Saints very well could be playing in the Hall of Fame game next year as well, because typically the Hall of Fame game, teams that play coincide with guys getting inducted, like the Chargers playing with Antonio Gates going in. So in any event, Drew Brees there at an event at the third annual NOLA Pickle Fest. And boy, they were rocking Back in Black in the background. I'm not sure you could hear that. I hope we don't get flagged on YouTube. The background music there at NOLA Pickle Fest.
It was, it could have been loud enough. I didn't even think about that. Hope we don't do that.
Yeah. Pretty aggressive. I want to let you hear more from Drew Brees because he did talk about the Saints quarterback situation this year. We'll get to that in a second. Of course, our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. I was chatting with Blazier earlier today, and they're rolling out a new care package this week for new mothers and babies. So if you're expecting or know someone who is, whether it's your first child or your fourth child or whatever it may be, a lot of times you just need extra support when you come home with that baby. And at Decision Critical, they'll provide in-home nursing care, night nurses so mom and dad can rest. Lord knows you need that. Wound checks for the recovering mother as well, and everything in between. It's Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. They can even help the transition in-home from maybe if you have a NICU stay or if you need breastfeeding support. They can help with all of that at Decision Critical Concierge Nursing with their expert trained nurses in-home. So make sure that you check it out. And listen, if you're dad, the new dad, look, you want mama to be happy, and you want mama to be taken care of. We all have that need as husbands, as fathers, as providers, and Decision Critical can help with that as well. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Drew Brees at the third annual NOLA Pickle Fest. One of the things that I'm going to be so fascinated about is what they're able to accomplish in these three preseason games with the three quarterbacks. Now, you have a rookie quarterback in Tyler Shuck, a second-year player in Spencer Rattler, a third-year player in Jake Haener. But Brees was asked to sort of focus on Shuck, the rookie, and the value of the preseason for him.
Yeah, super valuable. And, to be honest, I'm sure the Saints will take a much different approach than most teams do when it comes to starters. Mainly at the QB position, right? Some teams barely play their QB starters. Just trying to keep them healthy for the regular season. But these guys, like every rep, is so valuable. Both practice, these scrimmages, all those are so valuable just to feel like you're getting some game-like reps.
It's Drew Brees saying every rep is so valuable sort of reinforces one of the things said earlier, which was, I didn't love them going to play paintball, taking a day. I don't love that. Don't use a day to go play paintball. There's a time for, if you're a veteran team, I get that. It's camaraderie, it's a day off, it's a reward, all that sort of stuff. When you're a brand new team and you're trying to figure out how to crawl, walk, run, you heard Drew Brees say, this is the greatest of all time. You need every rep possible. So the other component of it is something that I've argued against is they don't have a veteran quarterback. And one of the things I've said this entire offseason is I would have liked for them to have gone and signed a veteran, not even necessarily someone to play, but just to have a veteran presence in the locker room for these young guys to show them how to be professional quarterbacks. And Drew Brees talked about this team not having a veteran on the roster.
It's an interesting situation, the fact that you don't have a veteran QB in that room at this point, and yet, you got a guy like Kellen Moore, and you've got a great staff of offensive coaches that have a lot of football experience and playing experience. And so, look, I think all these guys are in good hands, but nonetheless, nothing replaces just real-life experience. So, we'll see how the competition shakes out. Seems like it's been a pretty eventful camp thus far.
Nussmeier, Doug Nussmeier, Kellen Moore. Yes, absolutely. You do have former NFL quarterbacks on staff, and I'm not minimizing that, but it is also true. How many times do you remember watching Drew Brees come to the sideline after a drive, sit on the bench with the iPad or the old days with the flip charts of the photos, and Mark Brunell was next to him, or Chase Daniel, or McCown. Somebody there that's another trusted set of eyes that can help, that's watching and giving you impression of someone you trust. That's something I think this team lacks, and I wish they had. But this was Brees's, just one more from Drew, this was his overall take on the three Saints quarterbacks that they presently have on the roster.
It's a pretty unique situation when you just look at the youth across the board. Obviously, there was a lot of excitement, in drafting, Tyler Shuck. Look, I felt like Spencer Rattler did some great things last year. Jake Haener, his style, his stature, everything kind of reminds me a lot of myself, So, all these guys, as I've sat there and watched them grow, mature. Obviously, haven't seen Tyler play, at the NFL level yet, but just looking at his journey through college and the amount of experience and maturity he has.
We're so getting flagged. This thing is so getting flagged.
Whenever you commented on Back in Black, I knew it was coming, and I was going to let you, I was going to let
Hope you enjoyed the YouTube stream so far because the YouTube algos are about to catch even flow, and they are going to absolutely punish us for it.
Such a good song.
Enjoy what's left of this while you can before it all goes away. All right, it's after further review. That was Drew Brees again at the third annual NOLA Pickle Fest, talking about the Saints quarterback situations. Saints are actually going to practice here in about an hour and 15 minutes out in L.A., 6 o'clock Central, 4 Pacific, and then they'll practice today and tomorrow, and they'll get ready and play a game on Sunday against the Chargers out in L.A. We're brought to you by Evermore, EVA-MOR. I was out of these 64-ounce bottles of Evermore, bought a 12-pack of the 32-ounce bottles yesterday, but popped into a gas station over right at the corner of Highland and I-10, popped in there, and they had the 64-ounce bottles of Evermore, so I snagged one. I always encourage you, a better form of hydration, especially when it's hot like this outside. Stay hydrated, stay healthy, drink a natural product. That is a Louisiana product. It's Evermore, EVA-MOR, evermore.com, and I always encourage you, take a picture, tweet me, DM me, text me. The folks over at Evermore love to get those, so send them to me all the time. I always love to pass it along to those guys. EVA-MOR, evermore.com. Okay, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break of hour number 2. When we come back, Muse will have Tigers in the pros. Former LSU linebacker Derry Beckwith in 15 minutes talking some Tigers defense. We will have Otterlocks in hour 3. Friday is a massive day for LSU with another 5-star target making their announcement. Jace Matthews We'll give you the latest on that. Still a ton to do, and glad you're hanging out with us here on AFR.
After further review.
You know, Action Industries and the Advanced Turnaround Group, company I've been proud to tell you about for a long time now, it is turnaround season. And at Action Industries, if you want to work in turnarounds or you are efficient and proficient in turnarounds, they need people, welders, pipe fitters, boiler makers, crane operators. You can always apply online or in person. Highway 30 in Geismar, and go in and ask for Zach. It's at Action Industries and the Advanced Turnaround Group. So get on by. All the jobs are local to the greater Baton Rouge area. It's the Advanced Turnaround Group. You can learn more at actionindinc.com. That's actionindinc.com for Action Industries Incorporated. Remember, the Advanced Turnaround Group is a subsidiary of Action Industries. They are a proud partner of LSU Athletics. But, man, they do so much more. Pipe, structural steel, pressure vessels, which not everyone does. It's over at Action Industries. So check them out online. Be sure to tell them Matt sent you over to Action Industries.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Tigers have the day off. It's a recovery day for LSU. They'll be back on the practice field on Friday. We will have media availability Friday, and then they'll be back at it with a scrimmage on Saturday, which the media is invited to attend as well. So tons of practice reports and info coming out of LSU camp coming up here over the next 24 and 48 hours. Right now, Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, Kevin Gausman was on the bump yesterday for the Toronto Blue Jays. He was awesome. 7 innings, 1 earned, walked 2, punched out 8. And the Blue Jays won 20-1 over the Colorado Rockies. Paul Skeen sitting there saying, hey, can I get some of that run support?
Well, if they played the Rockies every day, he would.
That's true. The Rockies stink. They were down 12-1. They're heading into the last of the game, top of the 9th. You know what happens then? A lot of teams go, hey, we're just going to throw a position player on the mound. So the Rockies said, hey, Austin Nola, you're up. Get out there, kid.
Let's go. Cali High.
Yeah. He gave up 8 earned on 8 hits in an inning.
Oh, no.
That was his first time ever pitching in a Major League game.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You don't say.
So Austin Nola's career ERA?
A bajillion.
72.
11 trillion.
72. He gave up 2 homers as well. He had to pitch in the altitude at Coors Field. That's not fair.
Look at his ERA. I just pulled up this graphic. His ERA is 108.
Oh, my goodness.
Look at this.
I mean, it's so good, dude.
He's got an ERA of 108.
I love when they put position players on the mound.
That's when I look and go, hey, Austin. Would it have been better if you just stayed at the ranch in Montana?
Yeah,
Are you sure you still want to
You really want to do this still?
Come do this?
Yeah. Pitchers who are actually pitchers.
Oh, there he is. Wait, look, here's some video of it.
Oh, dude,
wait, this is a
you gotta run it back.
Hang on, wait for me. I thought we might get a miles per hour there on that. Hang on. All right, you can take it now. It's a yak.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be yak.
The altitude in Coors Field, man.
I mean, that was a no doubter.
That was the one that made it 20. Cole Henry was on the bump.
Dude, he gave up 2.
Yeah, he gave up 2 homers.
Oh, no.
8 earned on 8 hits, 2 yaks. He didn't walk anybody. That's solid.
Dude, my guy's out there throwing home run derby BP.
Yeah. Next time we have him on the show, we got to ask him. About
Bro,
it.
this is home run derby BP he's out there throwing.
So good.
Wow.
I love position players pitching.
Oh, no.
Shout out inning of work for Cole Henry. Didn't walk anybody, punched out 2. Really, really solid there. Paul Skeens is on the bump tonight, looking for some of that run support. He's been awesome. ERA just over 2. Quickly, Aaron Nola, second rehab assignment. Almost made it through 4 innings, 3 2/3, struck out 3, gave up 1 earned. Dylan Cruz, 2 for 3 in his latest rehab assignment as well. That's Tigers and Throws.
Presented by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, have mold, think you might. Parish Restoration, they're the best. It's a more effective and more cost-effective remediation method. Parish Restoration, a patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. I tell you all the time, my buddy Jim Woodworth, a U.S. Air Force veteran. He's been in a disaster relief from helping post 9/11, BP oil spill. When it comes to cleaning up messes and helping with things like this, you want Parish Restoration. parishrestoration.com. parishrestoration.com. All right, y'all. It is After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. SportsCenter's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. Our Thursday shows are brought to you by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing in Baton Rouge. Come back. Gary Beckwith will be with us. Honor locks are already posted at LouisianaSports.net if you want them. Hour 3 next.
AFR.
Okay. I was talking to Chef Layton over at Supper Club earlier today. And this is a very specific and targeted note if you are a whiskey nerd. You may have heard Buffalo Trace has a release that they're calling Last Drop. It is a blend of several different whiskeys, the youngest of which is 27 years old. There are only roughly 500 bottles in the world. The only bottle that I know of that is going to be in Louisiana is at Supper Club. They got it yesterday. I'm telling you, it will be gone by the weekend. It might be gone by the end of the day today after I say this. But if you want to try something you may literally never have another chance to try, this could be it. Get to Supper Club. Get there tonight, Supper Club.